What's up, guys, and welcome to the Black and Teal podcast here with Brian Meskill and Antonio Ferguelli. Check out blackandteal.com for the latest Jaguars news or message BAT podcast at yahoo.com to send us your questions for this podcast. So, Meskill, do you understand how incredibly difficult it is to be a Jaguars fan in general, as far as after this weekend? I mean, we get confused being Panthers fans. We're always going 5-11, and now we're 0-2 against the Panthers, who just completely destroyed the Jags this weekend.
I didn't know you were 0-2 against the Panthers, and I didn't know that the Panthers played the Jaguars this weekend. I thought it was the Houston Texans.
No, because we get confused as Panthers fans because of our jerseys.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I have a little bit to... I know how it feels to be a Jaguars fan. I am a New York Islanders fan, so can't really get much worse than that in any sport. But I did tell you the Jaguars are going to lose. I said they're going to get their ass beat.
I have team pride.
I know you have team pride, but you got to put that pride aside and just know when they're going to lose.
They got completely destroyed. It's the only thing the Jaguars had running for them this week was a hard count, which actually worked. A hard count that actually worked. And one touchdown pass to Maurice Jones-Drew where both Gabbert and Jones-Drew had to make a great play for it. But the only reason that play came to fruition was because Gabbert was under fire, I don't know, the whole game. And Jones-Drew just didn't have it against the Texans. They're just such a formidable defense. You know, he's not in, the greatest football shape yet. You know, we're going to have to wait another week or two.
Justin Blackmon didn't even have a catch.
No, he did not. And who led receptions again but Laurent Robinson, which is such a surprise. Like 5 receptions. He had like a 32-yard gain that was like his only real good play. And then everything else is just...
Shut down.
How
about the defense?
Do you want to talk about the defense? They let up 27 points. They attacked the left side the entire game. And that was Andre Branch, the rookie out of Clemson, and Kyle Bosworth, the replacement for Clint Session, and they just completely destroyed it. And, not to mention, William Middleton was also on that side, who's supposed to be great at run protection and whatnot. I mean, I'm not going to expect the corner to make great plays in a run-stopping game, but the left side was our weakest side, and they just completely took advantage of it.
The Texans didn't even have to throw the ball. They just basically
they threw the ball in the beginning. In the first quarter, all they did was throw the ball.
200 yards.
Right, but they threw the ball nonstop in the first quarter with screens and quick passes.
Dink and dunks.
They had 2 tight end screens in the beginning. 2. How often do you hear of a tight end screen?
I think they were just practicing whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I think it was like a practice game for them.
Trying. Hey, you know what? We haven't done this in a while. Let's do this.
Yeah, seriously. It's like they don't even have a big flight tight end like Gronkowski or Jimmy Graham. They don't have the greatest tight end, but it's just tight end screens, 2 tight end screens, and it just completely fooled the Jags. But at least Gabbert had a touchdown, no interceptions, but he did get injured. I mean, it's a hamstring injury. It's not like he's going to be expected to run 2 miles, 3 miles every day in practice.
Chad Henne.
Yes, the Chad era. We don't even know.
Henne.
Okay, if Chad Henne starts, I won't be greatly disappointed. I mean, I haven't seen him play in Jaguars uniform that much.
It doesn't matter. You've seen him play in the Dolphins.
Yes, I have.
Who are they starting? Who are they playing this week?
Indy.
Oh.
Hopefully it'll be without, a couple defensive players like Anger. Maybe they'll sit Freeney for once. They'll be like, we can win without him,
Indy's good, man.
Indy is not good.
What?
Indy is not good.
I'm sorry. Did the Jaguars Jaguars win or lose to the Vikings?
The Jaguars lost to the Vikings, and Indy beat the Vikings.
Indy beat the Vikings?
Yes,
they did. Okay.
Yes, they did. Did Adrian Peterson have 2 touchdowns against Indy?
No.
No. Oh, look at that. So Adrian Peterson.
But he had 2 touchdowns against the Jags.
Yes, he did.
So what's your point?
Just because Minnesota was beaten by Indy and Minnesota beat Jacksonville, it's not like an SAT question, if boy likes girl and girl likes boy, they might go out. No. It's not like that. That doesn't work in the NFL.
With Blaine Gabbert out, I don't think they have a prayer.
I hate you. But
I never thought I would ever say that. I never thought I would ever say without Blaine Gabbert.
Did you ever think Blaine Gabbert would start 3 touchdowns and no interceptions?
Yeah. Actually, no.
No, you didn't. That's such a lie.
That's a lie.
Especially since he went, 12-11 last season?
It's all right. I thought he would be good. I thought maybe this year he could go.
It's not that he's good. He's better.
I thought this year he could go.
He's played good in 2 games.
I thought this year he would go like 25 and 15.
25 and 15. That's good.
That's good. That's pretty good.
That's a vast improvement.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Twice his touchdowns.
Yes.
Wow, that like makes my heart sing a little bit.
I had faith in him. I just thought he was in a terrible situation last year. No receivers, nothing.
Now, what do you think was the bigger downfall of this game, though? I mean, do you think it was? I mean, you can't blame the receivers. They got new receivers. You can't blame the receivers yet.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot.
You can completely blame the receivers. They played terribly.
No, okay. Laurent Robinson was supposed to be terrible because he played terrible in the preseason. He was an overpaid free agent. But Blackman is the one that disappeared in this game, so you can't blame the receivers.
I'm still blaming him. I don't care if he's
okay,
or not.
Fine. All right, so let me give you 3 options. Do you blame the receivers? Do you blame the offensive line? The makeshift offensive line, I should say. Or do you blame the makeshift defense that they've had? Or do you blame Ben Gabbert? Or do you blame all the above?
I blame the coaching staff.
You blame the coaching
a terrible, terrible game plan and not.
Listen, Shad and his mustache had nothing to do with this. He wanted Tebow.
That's the owner. I'm telling the coaching staff.
So you blame him malarkey.
The game plan sucked, and they just did not prepare well enough for the Texans.
You know what happened a lot to Gabbert? It was funny because they were like, "Oh man, J.J. Watt, he's known as J.J. Swat." Because of how much he swats the ball at the line.
He's very good, man.
By the beginning of the second quarter, he had 2 swats, and we got fantasy updates over here.
Rakpo being out for the rest of the season.
The Rakpo
torn left pectoral muscle.
Pectoral muscle. He was out against the Redskins, which ended up losing me $20 because of what was his name? Oh my God, the receiver, Josh Morgan. Oh, I hate Josh Morgan. He cost the Redskins that game, and he cost me $20 to put in survival pool. But anyway.
Back to the Jaguars.
How are you going to blame Malarkey? How are you going to blame him?
Just because it was terrible coaching.
It was terrible coaching.
I didn't watch the game. I just don't feel that your team.
You didn't watch the game. Well, I did. I did watch the game, and that's what I'm here for.
I just don't believe. I don't care who you play. Your team should score 7 points. That's ridiculous. Okay. Couldn't even get a field goal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to talk about the Jets?
I'm not a Jets fan.
I know you're not the Jets fan, but you and your dad were screaming like crazy.
No, I don't care.
Anyway. So what happens is, J.J. Swat. They call him J.J. Swat, and by the beginning of the second quarter, in the second quarter, J.J. Watt actually had 2 SWAT downs, and part of that reason was because who was blocking him? None other than Mr. Guy Wimper.
Ooh.
I hate this right tackle more than Jets fans hate than Wayne Hunter. I hate this tackle. No, you
would you trade him for Wayne Hunter?
Huh?
Would you trade him?
Yes, I would trade for Wayne Hunter at this point.
Why?
Because Guy Wimper has been abysmal.
Did you hear that, Rams?
For 2 seasons.
Did you hear that, Rams?
2 seasons. 2 seasons. He's been horrible. He's like not even. He stopped blocking. It's like, oh, passes out, stop blocking. No, you keep blocking. You keep blocking to the whistle. That's something 6th graders are taught.
How old is he?
He's in his he's like 29, 30. He's older.
Really?
He's a veteran. But we have Guy Wimper starting at right tackle over Cameron Bradfield, which I'm upset about because I thought Bradfield was going to be a great right tackle for us, or at least a decent plug-in for now. We have the new guy from last week starting at left guard, and instead of Brewster, which I thought they were going to plug him in. I guess they didn't feel confident enough with him. Then we have Kyle Bosworth starting at the left outside linebacker for Clint Session. I apologize, right outside linebacker. William Middleton on corner instead of Derek Cox. Darryl Smith was also out, so Russell Allen, who took his place, he played all right. Led in tackles, Russell Allen led in tackles.
What?
Russell Allen.
My man, Russell Allen. He's the best Jack, man. He's your best defensive player. I don't care what anybody says. He needs to start. Get rid of everybody else. Build the team around him. That guy is a beast.
All right, we get it. You love Russell Allen.
Dude, he's a monster. Absolute monster.
Anyway, we can, you know what? Let's just blame the whole freaking franchise on this game because it was just abysmal. Blocks weren't being held. What's it called? The Blaine Gabbert wasn't getting the ball to his receivers. His receivers were disappearing. It's like, well, Gabbert wasn't, releasing, getting the ball out. Well, his receivers weren't getting open, and because of that, Gabbert wasn't getting the ball out. But at least he didn't force a turnover like he's used to because he used to just play like Big Ben and hold the ball.
All I know is, yes, Jaguars had a terrible game, but they did play the Texans.
Yes.
Texans
They're probably
arguably
gonna.
one of the best teams.
They are going to the playoffs this season. They're just playing phenomenal.
They're going to win the division.
They are.
But they did play the Texans. It's not like they played the Browns and lost like this.
Yeah,
if
that's
they
very
played
true.
the Browns and lost like this, then you got to give up.
I think like the Bengals this week were like, oh man, we're losing to the Browns right now.
I think
we're losing to the Browns.
Alabama could beat the Browns.
Possible. I mean, considering that they have like 6 draft picks every year going to the first 3 rounds.
The Browns are like a Pac-10 team.
Hey. Don't make fun of the Browns like that. They're at least a Division 2. No.
Pac-10 is Division 1.
The Pac-10 is Division 1, but they're not a Division 1 team. They've been in the bottom of the division for the longest time. And that, is because they're with the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals. It just makes things hard.
Yes, it does.
All right, guys, we'll be back. Now, like you're going to notice, it's only going to be a second. This is the Jaguars podcast. So let's talk about the team that went 0% on third down last Sunday.
0-9.
Oh.
What is the deal with that?
Well, they shot themselves in the foot. They shot themselves in the foot. And yeah, that girl's 11. Brian's looking outside my window like, why is that? He's like, man, who are those women? I'm like, well, they're 14 and 11. No, we are not deleting that.
That needs to be deleted. We have family and friends looking at this. That needs to be deleted. You need to delete that.
Your family friends watching this? No.
No, that needs to be deleted.
No, we're leaving
that. Needs to be deleted.
All right. Okay, it's deleted.
Right
it's deleted.
It's deleted.
It's deleted.
Done.
It's deleted. Fine. Hold on.
Just want to clarify that they looked a lot older than that. So
yeah, there's some dust and dirt in the blinds.
I'm not like a pedophile or anything. Looked like I would never do that.
You know what? I don't blame you because I don't.
They looked a lot older.
I don't blame you because I don't know what it is. It's the food, the water, or the bad economy. But these girls are looking like crazy good.
Yeah, I swear.
Sometimes. I mean, they're my neighbors. Whatever.
Okay, so
it's honest mistake.
Yeah,
honest
seriously.
mistake. All right.
I'm not.
So
we're on a downward angle, in the basement, like looking up, so I can't really.
Yeah, there's a tailwind
they're
going
a far
on.
Away,
yeah,
so
they're like only 20 feet away. But I mean, whatever.
They're actually right next to you. Actually, we were just talking to one yesterday.
All right, so let's go back to talk about the Jags, and not about 14 and 11-year-old girls. So they went. So Blaine Gabbert has a habit of doing some of the funniest thing I love in the interviews. Every time they lose, which happened a lot last season, 11 times, and 2 times this season, total 13 times. Watch any interview that he does. He always seems to pucker his lips, and like lips are in, almost like his lips are going back inside his body, because he doesn't want to talk.
I love how you're looking at a man's lips.
Yes, I am.
Like,
it's just an observation I've noticed. I'm sorry, you want to talk about a man or a 14-year-old girl? We could talk about sweaty men in very tight Nike clothing touching each other, or we can talk about how we're looking at 14 and 11-year-old girls from a downward angle through dusty blinds that we were talking to yesterday.
Let's go with none of the above. And we didn't actually talk to them yesterday, I've never seen them in my life.
We got Indy next week.
Yeah.
We got Indy.
Yeah.
Let's just say Darryl Smith, who I think is our best defensive player, not Russell Allen. Coming up, though, is our best player, and Derek Cox come back. And let's just say they get back a few guys back from their injury, including Brian Anger, who was one of the leading tacklers last season. What do you think the Jaguars would do? Do you think and let's say Gabbert is back as well. Let's say we're not at full strength, but we're back to some strength. Do you think, which is a little strength, do you think that the Jaguars can win by a touchdown next week?
They can. Yes, they're playing Indy. They
what is your prediction for Indy next week?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go...
You're stalling. Well, I think the Jags will win by a touchdown.
I was thinking Indy, but I'm probably going to go 24-21 Jacksonville.
24-21. So by a touchdown. You think Jacksonville will win over Indy?
Yes.
I do too. I think the win... I think the win by a field goal tops a touchdown. I don't think it'll go anywhere higher than that, just because I don't think they have the firepower at this point yet. I think maybe with another year of development with the wide receivers and Gabbert gets another year of malarkey. If in your eyes malarkey is still there after a year,
He could be.
He will be. He's been great developing the quarterback. look at Gabbert's improvement. But I think they'll win by a field goal, maybe a touchdown tops. I don't think it's going to get any crazier than that. How do you think Andy Luck is going to do?
I really think he's going to do pretty well, but I just think. And normally I would have taken Indy, but I just think that I don't think the Jaguars are going to go on 3. They can't.
If they go 0-3, we're looking at another top 5 draft pick. And I'm not saying just because there's 3 losses.
If they go 0-3, they're going to look like my fantasy season.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, at least you are trading for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but this week wasn't even my fault. It was crap.
No, yeah. This week in the NFL, all of us looked at each other like, what happened this week?
Yeah, teams that should win
Usually this happens in like week 6, week 7, not week 2. Yeah, you usually know like, all right, this team, Houston's going to be good. Houston's going to win like its first 4 or 5 games. Then by week 6, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
An injury's going to happen or something. But no. But I don't know. Do you think Andy Luck will get over 250 yards?
Yes.
I mean, they held down Shaw pretty well, but that's because they just ran all over the left side of the line.
I really did. I think he's going to have to throw the ball more. I think the Jaguars will stop.
Well, they don't really have that great of a run game.
Well, I think the Jags will stop Donald Brown, and Andy Luck will have to throw it. And that's why, I still think the Jaguars will end up winning that game because Andrew Luck is still rookie. He's very good. It will still be a very close game.
Right.
So I still think he'll be able to do something, but he still is a rookie, and he's going to have to throw the ball. And I think that's where the Jaguars could benefit. Now, could put 3-4 years down the line, they'd make him throw the ball, then that's going to be bad because he's going to be very, very good.
Mm.
But for right now, as a rookie, I think they need to make him
So you think because he's a rookie, he's still kind of raw? I mean, even though he's in a
little raw, and the only reason I'm saying is that he wouldn't do as well is not because his talent level, because his talent level.
We're not saying because he's physically
it's because
raw.
He hasn't seen the defenses and different types of schemes as complex yet. He's not completely used to it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
give him like a year into it, and maybe next year and stuff like that. Well, then that's going to be completely different. But give him some time to he's still going to see defense that he's never seen before.
Right. I mean, in college, there's probably, defenses, there's not as many defensive coverages as much as there is offensive plays. Just because you can run so many different routes out of receivers, one different route in one formation changes the complete play.
It's not even just the coverages, it's the way you disguise the coverages.
Oh, of course. And it's the NFL is the accumulation of the greatest players in college, or presumably the greatest players. Mm-hmm. College, that's why they run a shotgun offense, just because, in the NFL, you need 2 or 3 great corners. In college, you probably have one good corner, if that. Yeah. Then you just have a whole bunch of guys that are fast.
Because all the other other teams don't have great receivers.
And if they're fast,
everybody fantastic.
And if they're fast or they can catch the ball, they're going to be on offense, not going to be on defense. Exactly. So that's why defenses suffer more, and that's why star corners and safeties whatnot shine, just because there aren't that many of them. I mean, think about like the greatest safeties that were drafted. The NFL right now are. Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed, and that was years back. That was 7-8 years back.
That's wow. It's wow.
Yeah, it's been a while.
9 years.
Now the up and coming safeties. Can you really name too many great safeties right now?
There's actually a pretty decent amount.
There's a decent amount, but they're not at the level of. They're not the elite. No, like the elite, it's like top 2 for safety.
Take Ed Reed, Polamalu out, up and coming.
The guy from Seattle. What's his name?
You have oh man. Why am I blanking on his name? It's not Griffin. That was the Tennessee safety. He's from Texas.
Mm. I was thinking Taylor Mays, but it's not him.
No. I know he went to Texas. Thomas.
Earl Thomas. That's his name. Earl Thomas is probably going to be one of the ones Ed Reed and
Earl Thomas will be good. You have Eric Berry.
Eric Berry as well, that's true.
Actually looking pretty decent.
But it's not like a top 5 thing like with quarterbacks, safeties.
No, absolutely.
It's like top 2. Looks like one free safety, one strong safety.
There's not amazing safeties out there like game changers, but there's guys that can play this position very, very well, and we'll just see where that goes from.
And that's the thing with the Colts, though, is that what I wanted to allude to was that the Colts don't really have that great of a secondary.
No.
They have a better front 7.
They got Vontae Davis now.
They have Vontae Davis, but. Well, he's going to have to learn a new system still, and that takes a little while. But not saying he can't play great. But either way, I feel like they're going to have to throw the ball again like they did in Minnesota. Because if they, the Jaguars had to throw against Texans, and it didn't work out that well. But I think they'll have to, for Christ's sake. Yes, eat a home tonight. Anyway.
Oh, your dad.
Yes, my dad. So, you know what, if I get interrupted and you get interrupted, fine, we're leaving it.
Yeah.
Anyway. They had to pass against Texans. That didn't work out too well. They're going to have to throw against Indy. Gabbert, if he starts, if Gabbert starts, we can win by field goal touchdown. If Henne starts, I don't know about that. I think it's another week to pick.
I mean, Henne had really good games, and then he had abysmal games.
No. Eli Manning has good games and abysmal games. Chad Henne has okay games and then horrible games.
Yeah, but Eli Manning yesterday was abysmal in the start, and then just ended up throwing for 5.
I mean, how do you go abysmal? I mean, he had what, 3 interceptions?
Picks.
He had 3 picks, but he also had 200 yards. I mean, Henne will have 3 interceptions.
That's still terrible. 3 picks.
Henne will have 3 interceptions and like 50 yards.
Yeah, very true. That's very true.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us on the first episode. We're also going to do an around the league type podcast, so stay tuned.
Only in America.